classes altogether. I will pull off my education by shutting down the machinery. We ain't telling you to tear anything up. We believe like Dr. King said. We believe what Martin Luther King said. Don't tear it up. Shut it down. Don't burn it up. Shut it down. Make sure the machinery cannot work anymore. Old-fashioned, good old civil disobedience. Because you can't obey this stuff. This stuff is crazy, y'all. It's crazy. You can't obey. Anytime they set up a system where the people have to pay, where they tell you blatantly, you will pay more for less. And that's how it is. And we go for that. We deserve those kind of leaders. Anytime that they will allow this financial crisis to be solved on the backs of the people, then we deserve what we get. It's like what Michael Moore said. You know, not too many people saw Michael Moore's latest movie. Now see, his latest movie was, I think, the best one. Didn't get too much publicity because he's going right at the heart of capitalism. He's talking about capitalism. And when I ask a lot of people, particularly young people, did y'all see the Michael Moore movie? No. Y'all didn't see the Michael Moore movie? No. No. Well, there's a reason why this particular one wasn't like publicized all that much, you know, like Sicko was, so on and so forth, because he's going right at the heart of capitalism. You see examples of the mutrafin, of the corrupt rich, people who've had their homes for 40 years, but have to give up their homes to the bankers because they're being foreclosed and so on and so forth. Everybody's getting hit, y'all. It ain't just black folks. It's black folks, it's brown folks, yellow folks, red folks, a whole bunch of white folks. Everybody's getting hit this time around. And what you're talking about is a populist type of movement. A movement that involves all different colors of people from all different walks of life. And I'm sorry, as soon as the people find out that President Obama is not who we say he was, then the people, the same people who came out to organize for him, some of y'all, the same people who came out and voted for him, some of y'all have to then hit the streets. Because do you know that tonight, at 8 o'clock, I believe Eastern time, President Obama is speaking to West Point graduates. Do you know that President Obama may announce today that he is sending 30,000 more troops to Afghanistan? Now look, I know your struggle. Your struggle is local, but you have to connect the local to the bigger picture. The money is there for public education. The money is there for health care. The money is there for higher wages. The money is there to help the people keep their homes. The money is being redirected towards war. So therefore, you have to make the connection. Just like Dr. King told Lyndon Johnson, you can't fight the war on poverty and the war in Vietnam at the same time. Come on, man. That's economics 101, guns and bullets. It is. So you have to make sure that you connect your struggle here. You connect your struggle here with the larger struggle. The money is there. The money is being redirected to a war economy because the economy is being dictated and controlled by Wall Street and the military-industrial complex. Corporations that get their money, that get their profit from war. The United States has a military-run economy. This economy needs war in order to sustain itself. Therefore, what you're telling the powers that be, as you make your stand locally, and you have to make your stand locally, and sometimes the administration will say to you, well, we agree with you. It's out of my hands, right? Well, to a certain extent, it's true. But that don't mean you don't take your stand here. You still shut this bad boy down. You feel me? You still shut it down because you're letting them know. You're letting the administration know that we know, y'all ain't controlling the budget. We know that. But we're gonna make our statement here because this is where we live. This is where we are at. So we understand how this works. But we also understand that the administration also has a role. These presidents and chancellors have a role. And what is their role? Not to follow the corporate model. Stop following the corporate model. This is not a corporation. We do not think like a corporation in the academic environment. Do not make these people make you think like your CEOs. Because once you adopt that corporate mentality, then it's a dog-eat-dog type mentality. You don't care about nobody. You don't care about the students. Don't care about the people. You don't care about anybody. That is a corporate mentality. So you have a situation in which there's money to do all these things. You don't have to have your tuition raised up. We can have our bridges fixed and our roads fixed. Everyone can have health care. The money is there. Never think that the money is not there. The money is there. The money is being redirected towards war. That's what it's about. So when you make a stand right here, you have to understand, your stand at the local level is connected to a larger stand. Again, as Dr. King told Lyndon Johnson, we have to tell President Obama, you can't fight this economic crisis. You can't fight home foreclosures. You can't fight providing health care for the people while at the same time you're fighting in Afghanistan, you're fighting in Iraq, and you want to fight in Iran. Those two don't go together. So, understand that the position that you take is also an anti-war position. You can't take one position without taking the other. And that's when you understand how serious this gets. Because you're telling the corporations, you're letting the corporations know, get your hands off the government. And that's a major policy in this country. When you take a position that the corporations must get their hands off the government, that is a major, major position that most politicians will not support you on because they're owned by those corporations. So understand, it must be a mass movement. It must be a populist movement. It must be a type of movement where the leaders are not co-opted by the rich. Because see, the rich will come to the leaders and they'll say, what do you want? What do you want? We're a corporation. You want a house on the beach? We'll get you a house on the beach. You want a multi-million-dollar bank account? We'll get you a multi-million-dollar bank account. So number one, it has to be a type of leadership that is not attached to wealth, that is not concerned about living large. You see how this works? See, if you become a type of people who all you're concerned about are material things, then you'll choose a type of leaders who all they're concerned about is material things. And those leaders will sell you out. They'll sell you out. But you have to become a type of people. We have to become a type of people where material things is not the most important thing to us. Now, I'm not saying go home and throw away your digital cameras and your pretty TVs and your nice computers. No. All we're saying is that don't fall in love with it. Don't fall in love with it. Don't look at it as your God. Don't look at it as your be-all and your end-all. You can have it or you cannot have it. If you don't become a type of people like that, the type of leaders who you will have, the type of leaders who you will choose will be corrupt in themselves. Because if you want a beach on a house, you'll choose a leader who wants a beach on a house and he'll easily be co-opted. Or she. It goes both ways. You have to understand how this works, y'all. So number one, as a lifestyle change, get educated. Get educated. But don't associate education simply with money. Don't associate education simply with stuff. Associate education with being able to put yourself in a position to help other people. The stuff will come. You know what I'm saying? Material things will come. You do not have to live a life that's based on just material things. Lifestyle change. What Martin Luther King said, we have to go from a thing-oriented society to a people-oriented society. A thing-oriented society to a people-oriented society. Right now, it's a thing-oriented society. That's why the people are being dogged. That's why they're dogging the people. The concept of the working poor. You ever heard that concept, the working poor? People working 2 and 3 jobs, they can't make ends meet. Who would support such a system? The mutrafin. The mutrafin. Who would allow such a system in which 1% of the population own more wealth than the bottom 90% of that population? Who would support such a system? The mutrafin, the corrupt rich. Who would support a system in which over half the world's population lives on less than $2 a day? Who would support such a system? The mutrafin, the corrupt rich. And it is this mentality that you are fighting against. It is this mentality that we are fighting against. So we're telling the administration, the presidents, and the professors that since you are in an area of academia and intellectual, stimulation, don't align yourself with the corrupt rich.